Hi, this is Grania from All Aboard Therapy Services. This week I am doing some recordings for my social media around storytelling and story resources that I would use as part of my play therapy. Just along the theme again of children with experiences of trauma or abuse, or if you wanted to look up the ACEs that I've referred to, adverse childhood experiences, that can be very informative. So, just along those themes, I just wanted to show another book that I would use in play therapy that I found very useful. Social workers and family support workers would sometimes use this book as well. So, it's called When Adults Hurt Children, Helping Children Heal from Abuse. And it's written by Marge Eaton Heegard. So again, this is one that I ordered online. This book, it is a little bit more explicit and it would be mostly used for children who have experience of some sort of trauma, whether it's domestic violence, a parent who has anger issues, neglect, abuse, anything like that, and it could be that the child has witnessed something rather than it being, perpetrated directly towards them. So it basically explains about what child abuse is. It goes through about neglect, how children can be harmed or injured, and then it talks about how children can heal from the experience of abuse. The reason I like it as well is there are some tips about coping strategies. There is some psychoeducation about how abuse can affect us mentally and physically, but there also are creative activities in there as well, which can kind of lighten things up for a child rather than it having to be all talk about. The kind of things that this book does outline is that problems need to be talked about. Children shouldn't have to bottle up problems because that's going to create problems later in life for their mental health, for their relationships, for their schooling, their success in life, their ability to hold down a job, so that it's really important to talk about your problems with somebody safe. It says that, it is against the law. It is, criminal, and children need to understand that it is against the law to abuse a child. And that is something that would come up in my play therapy as well, where a lot of children and young people are actually not aware, which is a bit frightening. They're not aware that there are laws in place to protect us, and that, for example, it is not legal for a child to be abused physically, mentally, sexually, emotionally, um, verbally, so that's something that all children really should be aware of, that it's not okay for an adult to perpetrate abuse towards a child. So just being aware that those laws are in place can be very helpful. And for children who have experienced abuse, that there are safe adults there, that there are mechanisms in place for reporting abuse and being heard and being believed. So the book as well goes through, that abuse is never the child's fault, that help is available, that even people you love and trust can sometimes do bad things, that sometimes children need to move to a safer place. So, for example, children may be taken into the care of another relative, a family friend, a foster carer. They may have to go to a residential home or emergency respite. And that's for their safety. So it's kind of explaining that. It explains that children can manage their feelings and become survivors, and that children have rights. So it's a very child-centered book, which is the way I would work in my play therapy practice. Some of the things that it describes here, just to give you an idea of the book: children have many feelings. Sometimes they have so many feelings that they may feel overwhelmed. And then you can use colours, lines, or shapes to show different feelings. So it might talk about, anger, shame, fear, happiness, sadness, silliness. And then some of the kind of more psychoeducation parts of this book is, it says when children are abused, they may lose their trust in adults and their lives may change. When they lose things or when things change, they may have strong feelings. These feelings are called grief. Grief comes and go like ocean waves, and it has a really nice diagram and a really nice explanation there of grief. So I just have found this book really, really helpful for lots of different situations. It explains here when adults break the rules of the world, they may be sent to jail, even if the child does not want that to happen. Draw a picture you choose to draw. Um, it says children may feel safer if an adult goes to jail, but they may also feel sad. They may think it is their fault and feel guilty, but it's never ever the child's fault for an adult going to jail. You know, it's an adult has done something wrong, and that has resulted in them needing to go to jail. Um, Children may need to be moved to a safer place to live until their parents are able to take better care of them. Draw a picture of a place that could take good care of children. This is very hard for children and they will have many feelings. So there's a lot of different themes covered in this book about abuse. It also says adults may have big problems or worries, but it's not okay for grown-ups to hurt children even if they are upset. So again, just some very important messages in there. It does say some homes are full of anger and violence. Some people don't respect other people, animals, or things. Draw an angry home. So again, as therapists, you know, this can be very useful for children with experiences of trauma or abuse. Another activity here is it talks about flowers need a safe place to grow, like a garden or park or flower pot, and it needs somebody to take care of the flowers. The flowers are fragile. To grow well, they need care, food, and safety. And that is a metaphor then that I would sometimes use in play therapy, that children are like flowers. They need safety, they need light, they need love, they need to be watered and to be fed and to be looked after, just like any flowers or plants. So I would definitely recommend this book. And if you're interested in this theme of how to help children with trauma or experiences of abuse or adverse childhood experiences, please do watch my other videos as well. If you are interested in arranging training for your organisation around these topics, or having me go into a school, family resource centre, you know, a childcare setting, preschool, please do get in touch. I also do provide play therapy at my private practice. My website is allaboardtherapy.ie. My phone number is 087 1475 877, and my email address is allaboardplaytherapy@gmail.com. Thank you for listening.